Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Rodrigo. I'm going to talk about the traditional clothes, and from the beginning I mean that since Spain conquered us, through we got the independence, nowadays. Okay, first I want to remark that it's almost the same case that Jesus said, because it's kind of levels, low position, middle class, and because we don't have royalty nowadays, and in Mexico never have been royalty, only in Spain. So we call this one, like, for example, millionaires. Millionaires. Okay. Well, first of all, there are different kind of lower position. Depends if you are talking about the natives. Natives, they don't use this kind of things. They use only little t-shirt and kind of pants, but it's not like a complete suit, right? This is kind of this is natives for some specific area, but they manufacture their own suit. They manufacture their own hats. They clean their clothes with some grape, the fruit of one tree. And this is traditional clothes from, I think that is part of South Mexico. Yeah. And there are also, this is low position level, but we call them humble because of that. They don't talk to you about the money. They don't are for them they are not important the material things. So we call that people humble people. So I want to remark one thing, the hat, because for example there are people who is really rich but is illiterate. It's illiterate, but they has a lot of money because all of the day they spend in feeding cattle. They possess hundreds of heads of cattle and really large farms and ranch. But in one part they are illiterate, but in the other hand they are really rich. So this kind of it's kind of contradictory, because maybe this guy is absolutely millionaire, but he doesn't seem like he possesses a really high status, right? So this is one of the things that I want to explain more, because nowadays the high status is like adopt the normal the west not western to adopt the global clothing, like for example shirt, pants, belt, nice hair, and business suit and and dress shoes. But for example, uh, when when Mexico was part of Spain, uh, we import a lot of things from Philippines, because in the 1810, 1750, uh, Philippines was part of Mexico, because because we were part of Spain. So from this part of Mexico, from Acapulco, we export a lot of things, like for example fruits, to the Philippines, and the Philippines export kind of this kind of clothes, right? So one of the clothes, it seems like this, that is nowadays all the lower position where its name is paliacate. Paliacate is you can wear in the head before use the hat, that to contain the sweat. So when Philippines was part of Mexico, we adopt this kind of lower of lower clothes, but at the same time we adopt the same clothing as Spain. As Spain, for example, the long necks, the blazer with the velvet vest, and this kind of clothes. And for example, nowadays you can notice between low position and middle high position because of these things. For example, this girl never use makeup. She thinks that it's a waste of money to use makeup because maybe she take advantage of that money to buy food instead of to look beauty. And this girl doesn't care about it. These girls, the only important thing for them is look nice, look good, and to feel like attractive for all people. So that's why nowadays, because maybe in Mexico is a country that really the people take so much interest in how you look like. For example, if a girl is asking for a job and the boss is looking between two candidates, but one maybe is brilliant, but the other girl is not brilliant but looks pretty, the boss will choose the pretty girl. Yeah, because it's a country of machismo. It's a country of machismo. So maybe these girls knows that with looking prettier and with arrange themselves, dress up correctly and fashionable, maybe they can get what they want. Yeah. For conclusion, I think that the trend in Mexico is quite similar to the United States. We have some trends that we got from Spain, but for example, the hat and the traditional clothes, like a charro suit, it's a very expensive suit. It's not that this is a suit that not always can afford to buy because it's made by gold. It's made by gold stitches. So I think that our culture is kind of mixed from Europe and mixed from United States, and the native people also they have kind of they influence in our way to look like. Yeah? And finally, the other thing that I forgot to mention is the technology. The technology nowadays is kind of status. It's kind of status. Maybe in 10 years ago, a telephone could cost a fortune, but now it's same. So the status is nowadays is who has the best cell phone. Is this a smartphone or this is only cell phone? And you can look the cars. The biggest car made you get some quite high status. Yeah. And that's all. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Excellent. Any questions for Rodrigo about culture status?
So, are you saying that I am poor?
So status, yeah. So I like your addition of that extra technology status. But first, I want to open up the questions to Chisu and to Alba. Any questions for him, please?
So you told the lower class and middle class in front, the royals, right?
No, it's not royal.
Spain.
Exactly.
So how call them? The
Millionaires or high position.
Millionaire?
Yeah, high position because nowadays it's a really it's really a strong gap. It's really strong gap because it's low position and there is nothing between here. Low position and this is mid position, upper mid position, and then it's nothing here. And it's the extremely wealthy people.
Creating the wire and wire.
Exactly. And for example, in other countries, low position is quite together with the mid position. The gap is really small. So it's low, middle, and high position. So in Mexico, is the people who is poor is extremely poor. It's extremely poor. They survive with $1 per day. So after that, there are a huge gap between here the mid position, and after mid position is upper mid position. But for example, these guys are rich, but they are not as rich as the extremely wealthy. That, for example, you can notice that because the most billionaire man in the world is Mexican. He controls an empire of telecommunications in all America. So this guy is an example because with the half of the fortune of this guy, he can afford all the poverty, and with the half of the fortune of this guy, the poverty disappear of Mexico, and maybe we can grow more as a country. So this is not royalty, but the people who is rich is extremely rich.
You don't have to be royalty to have money. It's what you've done with your life and
For example,
the investments you've
the
made.
picture that I was talking about is because maybe you can see a guy who is maybe illiterate, wearing a hat, looks kind of dirty. Not dirty, like he doesn't pay attention to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Driving a Lamborghini, and you maybe think, oh, he's a driver, but no, he's the owner of the Lamborghini. Then you say, why? Because he is a person who makes money because he possesses 100 heads of cattle, thousands of hectares of farm, so they have a lot of money, and the status is like, for example, okay, they have a status because they drive a nice car, but at the same time they don't have a status in themselves because they don't look like, yeah. So it's kind of different.
Okay, excellent. Alba, any questions for him?
No, I don't have any question because I am from Mexico. But
Any comment?
It's true that he said there are many people that have so much money and they wear clothes like if they wear clothes.
As if they were common people.
Yes, but they are humble.
Humble.
Yes, like I could see it in PNE. There is a place where there are many people that have horses,
Mm-hmm.
and they look like a Mexican style.
Yeah.
They wear hats and
Western,
boots. And,
like when I say Western, Western means cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cowboys, right?
absolutely.
The same as in
Farm
Mexico,
hands.
they have so much money.
Yeah. But they just dress casual. They dress comfortable, if anything.
Yes, because they
Who wants to wear a silk dress while I'm catching a cattle?
Oh,
Don't break my heels, right?
or because they have so much clothes. Like,
Yeah.
they don't,
They don't need to worry about money and status in that sense. So
and I like so much that fashion.
it's a nice fashion too. I mean, we dress it a lot. People just dress that Western night at the bars, right? They're doing two-step. Everybody dresses up like a cowboy and have the fancy shirts and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your presentation, Rodrigo.